Andrea Suarez. I am the Content and Marketing Manager here at Waste Consultants, and today we are going to talk about what our audit process looks like. This is a question that a lot of our clients will ask just because our model isn't always super familiar to people, but it's important. So today we're going to talk about what our audit process looks like, how complicated that is, what it typically looks for your staff on site, whether it's a huge drain on resources. We're going to address all of that today. So let's hop in. Savings and experience. Our audits find savings conveniently and consistently. If you're like 90% of companies nationwide, your waste contracts are the primary reason you're overspending on waste and recycling. And to get any new contracts right or to renegotiate old ones, we know we have to review every pertinent detail about every waste and recycling stream at every location in your portfolio. Fortunately, we can do that remotely and with inconvenience to your staff being kept to an absolute minimum. For most of our audits, it usually takes staff maybe a couple hours to assemble some of the documents that we need, and we'll go into further detail about that a little bit later. But most of the time, obviously everything we do is remote, and it doesn't take very much time to assemble those documents. And there are some intermittent phone calls that we make to site managers here and there, but we really try to stay out of your hair. To begin our audit, we request several key documents for each location in your portfolio. We ask for copies of current trash hauler contracts, copies of the most recent trash and recycling invoice, and a list of every location under review. The majority of our clients can assemble this information, again, in just a few hours. Most of the time, it's just a matter of getting in touch with your accounting team or other members of your staff and kind of figuring out where those documents are and then sending them to us. It's a very simple process. Then we take 60 to 90 days to thoroughly evaluate your current waste management process and find where all your waste problems are. We use Google Maps and Google Earth to look at the location of dumpsters on your property. And the documentation you give us usually tells us everything we need. Again, sometimes we'll get in touch with you or possibly some site managers, so if we have some questions specific to a particular location, but most of the time the document gives us a pretty good history and kind of shows us where your savings opportunities are. Your current service agreement tells us about your terms, pricing, and auto renewal clauses. Those are some really big areas that we typically find savings. And your historic invoices show us the hauler's record of service levels, equipment, rates, and fees. Your invoices will make it clear if you're overpaying for a dumpster based on its monthly rate, or if you need to decrease frequency of pickups at a certain location. But other information is not nearly so straightforward. For anything larger than an 8-yard dumpster, we have to evaluate your tonnage and your frequency of pickup. Does your site really need to be serviced twice a week? Or is biweekly service actually ideal? All of this are things and questions that we take into consideration on every audit. So it's really important for us to find solutions that are actually tailored to you. We never go in thinking or assuming that one audit is going to be completely like the next. We have no preconceived solutions in mind. They are all completely tailored to what your needs really and truly are. We'll also ask your site managers questions about your customer service experience. A lot of times we just find it so invaluable to talk to people who are on the ground that they're typically able to tell us, yeah, our service provider or our hauler is really good at picking up the trash regularly and on time, or sometimes they'll tell us, obviously, no, they miss things pretty frequently, and that's another important something important that we take into account. So your hauler may have great rates, but misses pickup frequently, and is tough to get a hold of. This is vital information, and we take it into account when we review your portfolio. We look for unexplained price hikes, and we also look at usage trends as we're reviewing your invoice history. We also look at your service agreements. We'll note expiration dates, and we'll check to see if ancillary fees are limited or exempt. That's another big savings opportunity that a lot of companies are overlooking. We'll look for language that prohibits auto renewals and limits price increases to a certain percentage. And then we'll find other pricing options. We keep records of haulers nationwide, and we know equitable rates when we see them. Obviously, the price of getting trash service in a larger city is going to be much different than in a smaller city most of the time, and we know good pricing when we see it. Some of our clients profit from switching waste haulers, but for others, we renegotiate existing contracts for better rates. Again, we don't ever go into a review situation thinking that we've got having those preconceived solutions. Everything that we do is tailored to that specific location and that specific company. Our post-audit analysis will make it clear which option is more financially sound for you. Most of the time, most of the companies that we work with end up staying with their current hauler. For many of them, we're able to renegotiate better terms and better rates without having to switch haulers, which is always really nice. We make sure you don't leave any savings opportunities on the table, which is why we have a success rate of over 90%. Our reviews are uniquely thorough, and we're really good at finding every savings opportunity that is available to you. An exhaustive audit is possible with this solutions-oriented approach. Our clients know our audits are thorough and our processes work, and they save big. And if you guys want to scroll down at the bottom, you'll see a slideshow that we've put together some of our client testimonials. Our audits really do work. Again, we find savings 90% of the time, and so you can scroll down and check out that slideshow for yourself.